Hello and welcome back again. In this video we are going to study about the classification of plants. Generally, kingdom Plantae is divided into two subkingdoms based on the presence or absence or presence of the flowers. So here kingdom Plantae is divided into two subkingdoms, that is cryptogams and phanerogams. Cryptogams and phanerogams. Here cryptogams, they are non-flowering plants. Cryptogams are non-flowering plants. And subkingdom phanerogam, it is a flowering plant. Subkingdom phanerogam, it is a flowering plants. First we will understand about the cryptogams and then we will study about the phanerogams. So cryptogams, this is the first subkingdom which is added to kingdom Plantae. This subkingdom cryptogams has non-flowering plants, and this plant they reproduce by spore formation. These plants they reproduce by spore formation. Cryptos means hidden and gams means reproductive organs. Means the reproductive organs of these plants they are hidden. Reproductive organs of these plants, cryptogams, they are hidden. Further, this cryptogam subkingdom is divided into three divisions. Further, subkingdom cryptogams is divided into three divisions. The first division is Thallophyta. The plants which belong to this division Thallophyta, they do not have root, stem and leaves. The plants which belong to Thallophyta division, they do not have root, stem and leaves, as well as the conducting tissues are also absent in them. The conducting tissues like xylem and phloem, they are also absent in the plants who belong to division Thallophyta. Example is algae like Spirogyra, Ulva. These are the examples of algae which belong to Thallophyta. Fungi, some fungus or this fungi that also belongs to this Thallophyta division. The second division of subkingdom cryptogams is Bryophyta. The second division of subkingdom cryptogams is Bryophyta. These plants which belong to Bryophyta, they are called as amphibians of plant kingdom. The plants who belong to Bryophyta, they are called as amphibians of plant kingdom. That means they grow on moist soil, but they need water for reproduction. These plants they grow in moist soil, but they require water for reproduction. So they are called as amphibians of plant kingdom. These plants, in these plants also the conducting tissues they are absent. They don't have true root, stem and leaves. The plants who belong to Bryophyta, they do not have true root, stem and leaves, and they reproduce by spore formation. They show asexual reproduction and they reproduce by spore formation. The examples of Bryophyta are moss, which is also called as fumaria, which grows on the to get the seeds and see whether the plant is monocot or dicot. So you can see observe different characteristics of the plants. Like for example, you can observe the stem of the plant. So if the stem of the plant is hard, strong and hard, then the plant is dicotyledonous plants. And if the plant is hollow, like in bamboo, there is a hollow stem in bamboo, right? And then there is a false stem, like in banana. Banana tree has a false stem. And if they have a disc-like stem, like in onion. So these are monocotyledonous plants. The plants having hollow stem like in banana, sorry, hollow stem like in bamboo. If a false stem in, like in banana and disc-like stem in onion, then these plants are monocotyledonous plants. So you can observe the stem, and from observing stem you can still understand whether the plant is monocot or dicot. You can also observe the roots. If the plant has taproot system, then that plant belongs to dicotyledonous plant. And if the plant is having fibrous root system, then the plant is monocotyledonous plant. At the same time, you can also observe the venation on the leaves. If the plant leaf shows reticulate venation, then the plant is dicotyledonous plant. If the plant leaf shows reticulate venation, then the plant is dicotyledonous plant. And if the plant leaf shows parallel venation, then the plant is monocotyledonous plant. You can also observe the petals in the flowers. If the flower consists of 4 or 5 petals, or in their multiples, 4 or 5 petals in the flower, or in the multiples of 4 or 5, we call them as pentamerous or tetramerous or pentamerous flowers. So if the flowers are tetramerous or pentamerous, that means having 4 or 5 petals or in their multiples, then that plant is dicotyledonous plant. That plant is dicotyledonous plant. And if the plant flower is having 3 petals or in multiple of 3, we call it as trimerous flower. If a plant flower is having 3 petals or in multiples of 3 or trimerous flower, then that plant belongs to monocotyledonous plants. So in this way, not only from the seeds, if there are no seeds, you can observe these all other characteristics of the plants, and based on this observation, you can identify whether the plants are monocotyledonous plants or dicotyledonous plants. So this is all about the classification of plants. I hope this is very easy and clear for you all. If you note it down like this and write in short, I am sure you will never forget classification.